Bryan Carman and Paul Ahnert.
And welcome to Road Less Traveled with Bryan Carman and Paul Ahnert. And Bryan, you want to introduce our special guest tonight?
Some guy. No. This is Chaz Bond, and I know him from BioGenesis, so I got the shirt on tonight. And he'll be talking about other bands and projects he's done and other stuff like that once we get into it. How you doing, Chaz?
Doing great. And this is my fiance that just appeared.
Yes. Hello.
Hi. She's not in my bands, but she is my right hand, so
okay,
it counts.
Well, she's gonna have to learn how to do sound or something.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Do you want to introduce your fiance?
Yes, this is Terry Lynn.
Hello, Terry.
Hi. She goes by TL. She wants to show off her ring because we just got engaged.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just kidding.
Right there. Yep. So she's my best friend and all that good stuff.
And all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Make it all official here in June. Thank you.
Good deal.
And for me, Leah, just hold on. Got that long distance thing going, you know. I'm starting to get impatient, but I'll just calm down.
We started off a little bit long distance. Only about 3 hours, but it's still long distance.
That still takes some maneuvering to do things.
It sure does, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Paul, you want to start off with our CD stuff?
Yeah, I can start off today with our my three CD picks of the week. First one, Mainline Riders. I was jamming them yesterday a lot. This album, they had two albums. This one's kind of punky. And they changed vocalists and came out with a second album that was more blues based. But if you like a little bit of punk and some just fun, not real punky, but a little punky, like a punk influence, hard rock. And this one, very special to me. It's Victor Griffin's Engraved. Victor's a great friend of mine. He was with the band Pentagram for many years, and then he became a believer, and he started the band Place of Skulls. And then this was his solo project that he did. And it's kind of biographical. It's got Late for an Early Grave is a really fantastic song. If you get a chance to check that one out, it's on YouTube. But that's one of my favorites, always in rotation. And then for a more classic metal symphonic sound, Seventh Avenue with these guys just really rock it out, and really enjoyed listening to them throughout the week. So that's my picks for the week. What you got, Bryan?
Well, I want to look up that one. I can't say the name of that band I showed you. Do you remember the name of it? No, not that. The one with the female vocalist, the symphonic.
Oh, I have to go back and look and see what you put on there for me.
That's what I'm doing right now, trying to find it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what to do. If I go to my Facebook.
Yeah, I'll just look where you sent it to me.
Yeah.
And find it. There was Laodicea.
What's that?
Laodicea or Weeping?
No, that's one of the
Tierra
songs.
Vascia.
Yeah, say that again.
Tierra Vascia.
Man, I heard that, and I like the lady named Leah. If you guys ever heard her, but Leah's music's not as much bold Christian stuff. I think it has a lot more with the Celtic culture. Where this band, however you say it, man, that one song, "Weeping," that song made me cry. That was pretty good. So I'm gonna listen to more of them. But this is gonna be funny because yes, I listen to my own music. So I've been listening to this in my car. And my favorite song on here is Don't Walk Away. I really like that. And then just to keep that on there, just so you guys know, our new CD's coming out in February. So our fans do know about our first album. Go this way. Shine the Light. Then the second one with my daughter on the front. And this guy here that we're interviewing did the song Light of Day. So it's track number 2. And how did that recording, real quick, Chaz, how did that recording go when you did the vocals?
Pretty easy. I mean, it was, real nice melodies in there. It was easy to find the melodies and the feel of the song. Lyrics were really good, really strong. And so it was real easy for me to just dive into it. I do all the vocals myself anyway now. I use Logic Pro.
Okay.
Which is funny because I'm terrible with technology, like we discussed earlier. It took me a while to learn. I learned by recording the last BioGenesis album.
Okay.
And let me tell you, there were several songs I had to do multiple times over after I was happy with the tracks. Like, oh, you did this wrong. I'm sorry, but you got to do them again. And I think I sang half that record really mad. But yeah, by the time I got your song, I kind of had the gist of it down.
So we had good timing.
Very smooth, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so to get to my actual 3, yes, I know it's after Christmas, but I was listening to this the other day, and if you haven't picked this up and you like Christmas music, they did a really good job on this. I don't think I skipped
that's one of my favorites of the Christmas season right there.
Seriously, I'm not saying it because Dale's our singer. They just did a really good job, and Troy is a phenomenal musician, and having him on some of our projects, unbelievable. Because he did all the bass on this one, and he did, I don't know, the cello, the mandolin, the keyboards, the piano, the organ. I mean, holy cow! And he even sends like messages like, "Well, if you don't like it, you can just throw it away, and you don't have to pay me." And John and I are like,
yeah, right. We're throwing it away.
yeah, right. No way. The guy's so good, but he's really humble too. He's a really nice guy. They both are. So then my other one is, and I pulled this one out just today because I haven't listened to it in a while. So this is a good one. If you guys haven't checked it out. And
Love Bride, one of my favorite bands growing up.
Oh yeah. Now this one, I've gone away from any of their newer stuff, but this album is really good. Switchfoot.
Oh yeah.
This is very classic. It's got a lot of good songs. And when my brother committed suicide back in 2003, the song Meant to Live was really good for me. So anyway, those are mine. Now, Chaz, you said that you didn't have any actual CDs, but you've got some. Tell us what music you've been listening to or has influenced you lately.
Well, I can pick out 3 of my favorite Christian metal albums of all time. If that'll
okay.
do it.
Absolutely.
That's kind of tough to do. I'm sitting here thinking about it while you guys are going through those. Deliverance. Almost anything by Deliverance. But honestly, this might surprise people because most people are all about weapons of warfare and the early stuff. And I like that stuff. But what influenced me more as a writer and as a singer, lyricist and a vocalist, was the Learn album.
Okay.
I love like the heaviness in the guitars, but the melancholy and the storytelling way, like it just, I don't know. It really spoke to me. So that was really influential to me. Another one, Sacred Warrior. I have to pick out Wicked Generation.
Yeah.
That really influenced me on the way that they approach these taboo, if you will, subjects.
Oh yeah.
In such an in-your-face kind of way, but still presented the gospel at the same time. Just the way they did it. I'm like, this is, to me, it was like really spoke to me. Like, this is what I should be doing, and I think it really did influence the way I write.
I like Obsessions. You like that one?
Oh yeah. I like all their albums.
Yep.
I just think like lyrically speaking, the way they approached that was really awesome to me. But yeah, all their albums are good. Of all time, that's tough, but might have to go with Snakes in the Playground. It's just a great. If that album had been in the secular,
oh my goodness,
yep. You know what I'm saying? I thought they were blowing away Guns N' Roses. If you ask me, they get compared to Guns N' Roses stylistically with that era. I think, honestly, and I'm just being honest, I think Dale blows the dude away.
You know what's funny, Chaz? Somebody mentioned it because Dale stays on Facebook too, and somebody said that something about what you just said? And Dale goes, no, Axl Rose sings like me because I've been singing before him.
Right, yeah. And he
Yeah.
still doesn't do it as well as
No.
Dale.
And what is Dale, like 62 now, or?
Geez, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's like 62 or 63, and he can still belt it out. Wow.
I did get to do one duet with Dale on one. What's that band called? He's got so many projects. The one with Tiago.
The Perpetual Paranoia.
Thank you. Yeah, I did a song with Dale there. That was such an honor because I grew up as a fanboy, and I saw Bryan a couple times when I was real young, and just looking up to him and just happy to shake his hand and get an autograph. Now here I am singing a song with him, which, of course, Bryan, you know what that's like. So,
oh my word, dude, when he sent his vocals for Your Enemy, very first song he did. Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I did get to play on stage sing on stage a couple of times with Deliverance as well.
You did? That's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Huh. So I want to ask you to go into a little bit of detail, like a history of how you came up with that album that talks about the Jim Jones. What's that called? What's the album called?
Rise of the Phoenix.
How did you get all your information?
Good questions. Honestly, it dates back to about 2012, 2013. I just started feeling a calling to write about something like this and the effects of it. And all I knew at the time was that I was supposed to write about somebody who goes from a full-on brainwashed believer in said cult to, during the process of the story, he starts to awaken and he starts to call out to God to free him from this. And I really wanted to show just how dangerous it really is, because Jim Jones is an extreme example of that, but there's a lot of smaller ones that don't get the press, that don't, that aren't famous. Right. There's guys in little barns somewhere that are, it's just really dangerous. And what I learned studying it is that in most cases, when you have these cults like that, it almost always ends in some kind of suicide pact, which is just really sad.
Yep.
So I had to present that aspect, only because the way I look at it, especially with BioGenesis, like if I'm going to write about something dark and I'm going to attack an issue and shine a light on it, like I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm not going to sit back and be like, oh, I don't want to upset nobody, or I don't want that's, you know what I mean? It's, again, Wicked Generation, Sacred Warrior, kind of that style, Now the reason why I did it is because I started to feel led to do that for a while. And I really felt in my spirit that it was time to do it. And so I said, all right, this is it. This is going to be the album. And how I learned everything is I studied. I read a lot. I watched videos of survivor stories. I listened to their stories and everything. And I really spent a lot of time just kind of praying over it and really taking it all in for about 2 years, actually, before I even penned the first song.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, by the time I actually started writing it, I was ready to
go. We had Randy Rose on recently, and he did a similar type of thing. He did a concept album on ritual abuse and child abuse and things like that. And it had a great impact. What kind of impact did your album have on people that either came out of that or new people that came out? What kind of feedback did you get on that?
Most of the feedback I got was good. I think a lot of people thought they were really impressed that I was able to present that in the way that I did and come across with such a powerful message. But honestly, it's like really when I write songs, especially that album, but really all of them, is I'm really reaching for that guy in the back of the room that didn't ask to be reached. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get that guy, and I love my Christian brothers and sisters and our fans that are believers and all that. I love them very much. But really that guy I'm trying to reach is that one guy that thought nobody would ever even care that he existed, let alone trying to reach him,
Yep.
And So yeah, like I'll tell you another story. It's not really about that particular album that you're asking me about.
Okay.
But you had alluded to your brothers for what happened to your brother. I'm sorry to hear that, Brian. I had a friend that committed suicide in 2005, and I wrote a song called "The Pain You Left Behind," and it's simply about that. And one time we were just in this little bar, and sometimes I just get this feeling comes over me that I need to say something. Sometimes I say nothing. We play the song, we go to the next song, but sometimes I get this like almost like I'm being called to just say something, and I'll do it. And I did that night, and I talked about suicide for about 10 minutes before we played the song. And this one guy just comes out. He's just tears are just falling down his face, and he's just like, "Where did you get those words?" And that's just one example of the types of things I've seen with Bio in general, not just with that Rise of the Phoenix album, but like getting people that maybe they knew what they believed in. I don't think I believe in God or whatever it may be. All of a sudden they're going, "Huh, I never thought of it like that. Maybe he has a point. Maybe I need to think of it." And that's all it takes for God to come in is for you to just crack the door just a little bit, and you guys know that. So, yeah. Hope that answers the question.
No, that's good. Yeah, Leah says hi, guys.
Hey, Leah.
Hello.
And that's my favorite picture of her too. But this isn't about me. Go ahead. No. I used to play live with my other band, Otherwise Broken, that I used to have. We haven't played live with We Are Resolute because it's the fake pandemic came in and everything, so everything was like in the studio. Then we got Dale, so he was in New Zealand at the time, and then you were in Ohio. Were you still in Ohio, or?
Yeah, a little further away than where I was. I'm closer to Cleveland now. Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Dare I say Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Whose fault is that?
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't want to start any fights over there.
I actually work in Pennsylvania now too, which is really crazy.
Oh, do you? Okay.
We're that close to the border.
Oh, got ya.
Yeah.
Do you wear your jersey there to work?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have this whole tradition that dates back to childhood. Not to go on a tangent about football, but I will wear the shirt or whatever the following Monday after a win. So even if we only win 2 times or 100 times, I wear it right after a win. If we don't win, I don't wear it. So.
Sometimes you can make a bet with the opposing team if it's a worker, and then they have to wear your jersey.
Yeah, I saw the dude from Weapons of God had to do.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
Something the other day where he's a Dallas Cowboys fan, and he lost to us. We beat him, and so he had not with me, but he had a bet with somebody else. So he had to put the Bengals logo on his page for an entire week. Which
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I saw that.
Stuff like that's fun. That's not really betting. That's just having a blast with using.
Then after that week was over, and he put the star back up there. I said, "You got a dark blue booger on your page." Yeah, you and I can agree we don't like the Cowboys. Right? Yeah, I agree.
I like the Cowboys.
Uh-oh. This interview's over. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Yeah, see ya.
We both get up and walk out. The show's canceled.
If it was Steelers, we might have a problem. No, I'm just kidding.
I still love you, Paul.
I know. It's all good.
So back to music. Are you touring or doing any other projects right now, or anything like updates or something?
Okay. Right at this moment, honestly, I've not played a live show in over a year.
Okay.
It was really bugging me because I normally play several shows a year at least. But moving and just I went through a lot of personal change. I just there's just a lot of stuff I won't go into, but went through a lot of challenges myself, and I think music kind of took a little bit of a backseat, but I am working on a new BioGenesis album right now. I'm calling it Hell's Carnival. So yeah, again, I'm not afraid to attack the dark stuff.
That's right.
This doesn't have anything to do with Jim Jones. We're back to a regular Bio album. There's a song I don't want to give too much away, But there's a song called "I Hate the Devil," and in parentheses, "and the devil hates me." I think a lot of people are going to dig that.
Well,
it's a pretty
sounds
cool
pretty
song,
cool.
and it's kind of about how I'm not afraid to, or we as a band are not afraid to go into a dark place and do what we got to do, and that sort of thing. We have an all new lineup because I moved, so we have all new band members, and one of them is actually my future stepson. Thank you. I always get my future stepson. He's 22 years old, so he's a great guitar player. So he's in the band, and I got a drummer named, or his name is Connor Wallace, and the drummer's name is Michael Gately. He's just amazing, and it's funny because I went and watched him play in a praise and worship band, and he's all ding 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 ding, he's back.
Yeah.
And like he sees me in the audience, and he's like, ding, 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 second he throws in a little quick double bass in there, and I just
you're recruiting from your seat.
What's that?
Were you recruiting from your seat, like watching the band members? I could use him.
Oh yeah. Well, kind of. Yeah, I thought about it. Yeah. I got another guitarist who actually lives in Cleveland. He drives all the way out here for practices. Jimmy Ziga, just really great guitarist, really good songwriter. So that's what we're doing now. And once we get that done, I do want to get back on stage. It just we've had options to go. We have offers to go to Mexico.
Oh, really?
Stuff like that, yeah. We just haven't had everything together quite enough just yet, but we're getting there. Finally, we're getting there.
Now, I know that you and I have kept in contact, but if We Are Resolute ever wants to do a live show, you said you're interested in fronting that, right?
Yeah.
That'd be cool, because Dale can't. He's got way too much going.
Oh, yeah, I understand, yeah.
And I know what the one funny thing was when you did our song Lighter Day, you're like, don't worry, Brian, I promise I'll use my high voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That cracked me up.
Yeah.
Well, I like a little bit of that Cookie Monster stuff. That's what I think Paul calls it, that, don't you?
Yeah.
Because like Lacey Sturm, she does it very tastefully. She inserts it into the song. It's for me. So yeah. I'm not cutting down your music, because Paul and I say this on our show often. Every genre of Christian music is being used of God.
Absolutely.
For a particular audience. So we want to promote all the genres.
And I don't even know that I would consider your vocals as Cookie Monster when I use that term. I listened through the Mark Bleeds Through album today.
Yeah.
And it's definitely thrash, but I don't know that I would categorize you.
I heard his high voice on that a little bit.
I mean, honestly, like growing up, the short version, to respond to that, is that I like so many things. I liked Bride. I liked Sacred Warrior Deliver. I liked all that melodic stuff and still do. Love it. But also like some of that heavier stuff every now and again. And make a long story short, through the years, I was like, I'd be in a thrash band for a little bit, and then I'd get tired of doing the all the time. And I'd be like, well, man, I know how to sing, and I want to sing, but I can't sing in this band because all they want to do is this. Right. And then I'd get in a rock band and I'd be having a blast, but after a while, like, man, I just wish I could just do one heavy song. So eventually I just started doing it all, and I kind of became my signature as a singer. Some people get it, some people don't. It's cool, but I think a lot of people that like both don't usually like what I'm doing. So,
hey, now who has the rights to the song Black Widow? You, right?
We do, yeah. Uh-huh.
Good. You should do a remake of that.
Yeah.
With your current band.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're probably gonna do it live. I would imagine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Because you only have that one video up with your former band, and so it's kind of weird watching them do it with you when you're not,
Yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, you look at Deliverance and bands like that have had a lot of members in and out for various reasons.
Yep.
I just decided. I mean, I've founded Bio over now it's been.
Hi, buddy.
It's going on 25 years. Wow. Yeah, 25 years. At least. I mean, we signed with Row Productions, our first signing before the Mark Lee Stu came out. That was in 2000. So, yeah, that's been 25 years now. Wow. I feel so old. But yeah, I founded the band then, and all those guys are long gone, and I've had other members in and out of the band. So as long as you keep the name going, it's kind of like
Yep.
Bride. As long as Dale and Troy are there, and I'm
Yep.
not discounting anybody. That's not what I mean. But like,
not at all.
no, as long as those two guys are there and the core of that band, that sound is right there. I mean, you can get a different drummer, a different bass player. It's still Bride,
Yep.
Bio, same thing.
Yeah, unfortunately for Bride, some of them have died. So
Right, yeah.
So any questions there, Paul? Or wait, we should check the messages.
All right, so we've got
Someone said hi, guys.
Jeff says there's no sound or video. I went and checked on my phone real quick, and I didn't want to put sound on, but I definitely saw video.
I've got sound, so it's got to be
sound.
It's got to be on his end.
I guess people are hearing it because Joshua Reynolds says, "Chaz, your vocals got me hooked 25 years ago for the first time I heard Russian Roulette."
Oh, thank you. I like that song quite a bit. I still like that song too.
You want to talk about that song for a minute? And
it's basically a metaphor for someone who just like an atheist that just wants to just assume that there's no God and that we're all just a bunch of hairless monkeys walking around, And my question to them was, are you sure about that? Do you really want to play Russian roulette with your soul? Well, you pull that trigger and you get the bullet, then what? It's too late.
Exactly.
It's kind of the message of the song at the time. We used to play it live all the time, like I said. Really good song.
So, what kind of venues do you guys play in mostly? I know you said you wanted to hit that guy in the back of the room. That's really not in.
We play literally anywhere. I mean, I don't turn anything down. I've played in a lot of nightclubs, mostly secular venues. I've played some Christian shows a little bit, but mostly we're in all kinds of different nightclubs. I've been in a satanic nightclub. Yes, you heard me right. Bio played in a satanic nightclub. And I'll tell you the funniest thing about that is they approached us wanting us to come and play. And I'll never forget, my bass player got the message, and I happened to be in his house when he got the message. He turns around, he smiles. He goes, "You're not going to believe this. Richard wants us to play there. Like we'd ever go play there." I'm like, "Dude, yes, let's play there." He looked at me like, "What?" Yeah.
Were they looking for like a heaven and hell thing? Is that what they're?
Maybe they were. Yeah, you know what? Maybe they were. And I got to be honest with you, no one was disrespectful at all. I mean, everybody was very respectful. It was actually a good experience. And the funniest thing about that, though, is when we got there, because we didn't really know exactly what it looked like until we got there. And they had this backdrop of something pretty blasphemous. Let's just put it that way. And I'm like we're not playing with that behind us. So we just happened to have this brand new wall banner that we hadn't even used yet. We took it with us and we rolled it across that wall, and you could not see
good job
that image while we played. I thought this is awesome. So yeah, I mean, literally we'll play anywhere.
Hey Chad, that reminds me, if I can tell you real quick, I live like right here in Michigan, and we had a show up here, and I can't remember the name of the town right now, so sorry about that. But we had like a really long drive. 4 hours, 4.5 maybe. And we were in a 7-passenger van with all of our stuff hooked up. We were going to get paid for this gig. And halfway there, I go, "Oh yeah, by the way, you guys, the church we're playing in is Mormon." And we're like, "What?" And my friend grabs out, the singer, Jeremy Banks, grabs a Bible, and we started doing a Bible study and praying on the way there. We didn't compromise. We did our set like we always did. We preached the gospel. They loved it. And I'm like, okay. So that just reminded me of that. So that was pretty cool. Go ahead. You had a question, Paul?
Yeah. So I this year I just happened to end up by chance being part of a outreach. It wasn't even outreach. It was a secular show and a secular club for suicide awareness in September. And so the guy that put it on, he's an atheist, but he let us come out and let us put out metal Bibles and stuff. But he's getting ready to put up a lineup again for next year. And he's already trying to get bands lined up. So would that be something you guys would be interested in?
Absolutely, yeah.
Coming
If
out
we're,
for
if
it.
we're
And-
ready to go, then absolutely.
All right, so let me know what it would take to get you down and what the costs would be and all that.
Well,
We'll
where are
talk
you
offline.
located at?
I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, well, that's not that bad.
Yeah, we're not too far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not too bad.
So let me
Michigan's not
know.
too bad either.
What's that?
Michigan's not too bad either. Tennessee,
Right.
Michigan,
Yeah.
Ohio. I mean, you're just talking about it's doable.
Well,
That's what I'm
Kind
saying.
of in same geographic
Right.
area. My
Not
son
like
and I
Los
just drove up to
Yeah.
Philadelphia in May. So yeah.
Can you put up, Paul? Can you put up what Joe said
Yeah.
and then read that?
Joe says he sure likes the idea of Chaz fronting war for some live shows. Bring it.
It's almost like we talked about that a little bit.
I know. But I think that would be a lot of fun.
I did do the one song we talked about earlier. If he didn't catch that, if he
Light of
doesn't-
Day.
Yeah, Light of Day. In case he doesn't know that, which was that the second album, right?
The second album,
Yeah.
Only Human.
There you go.
Yep.
Second track, I believe.
Track number 2. I don't know if you can see it on here. So much reflection. And this one's just still in its wrapping. So the second one, you can kind of see it there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see it.
yeah, good song. We can definitely hit that one. I already know that one.
Oh, that'd be cool. And I can still remember the power chords. It's really difficult being a studio musician instead of playing live like I did with my other band. And I feel good about this because Michael Sweet did a Sweet and Lynch album, or 2 of them. And
Yeah.
the interviewer was asking George 3, okay.
Oh, okay.
Asking George Lynch if they would go on tour with Michael Sweet. And George Lynch actually, and this is a professional, he laughed and said, we'd have to relearn everything we did. And I'm like, oh, good, I'm off the hook. Because in my songwriting, Chaz, I don't know how it is. Well, you play live.
Yeah.
I'll write something and I'm like, John, you got to get over here on, Tuesday. And while I still remember how to play the song I just wrote.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get it recorded and I'm like, that's done.
Well, that's one of the biggest challenges actually of the new lineup is they're learning all the new album. But I say, guys, when we get this done, y'all got to learn a lot of stuff from our classics because fans are going to show up and they're going to want to hear the Mark Bleeds Through,
Big time.
I can't come here and not see you and not play anything that I love.
This concert sucks.
Right. We had one guy, man, when we did Decadence Divine album, which is one of our most popular albums in recent years, 2017. We had a guy drive out from Illinois on his motorcycle all the way to Dayton, Ohio to see us. That was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The furthest I've ever traveled to watch a show is 7.5 hours. Cornerstone Festival when Stryper came back in 2001.
Well, that was worth it. Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Because on that day, it was Larry Norman brought both of his bands.
Oh man.
And then third day, and then Stryper.
Awesome.
That was a good show.
That's a
And
lineup.
have you guys been to Cornerstone Festival, the main stage?
No.
I have not. I wanted to play Cornerstone, and
Okay.
right when we were starting to come out, things were kind of different.
2012 it ended. Hey,
Yeah.
Dale Thompson said hey. To you, Chaz.
Oh, well, hello, Dale. Man,
Man,
been talking about him, and now he
Yep.
finally pops in.
his ear was ringing.
Yeah.
How's it going, Dale? Thanks for chiming in.
Thanks for chiming in. And Joe says he comes to Tennessee sometime. So hit me up when you get in town, man. If I'm free,
Awesome.
we can hang
Sounds
out.
like a blast.
Yeah. So,
The last time I was at Tennessee, we were on tour with Mortification,
oh wow.
and this was 2001, right after the Mark Bleeds Through came out. And when Mortification was filming that DVD that they did back then, Mortification Conquers the World, that was during that tour. So there's footage of us on there.
That's
Nice.
cool.
We stayed at Pastor Bob Beeman's house overnight.
Oh, cool.
And he had this wall of fame, whatever, that had everybody from Barron Cross to the little guys, the big guys, and he wanted us to sign the wall. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Just random thoughts come to my head when you guys say certain things.
That's okay. We don't really have a format. We start off with talking about music right away just to get the blood flowing for the music stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Because we actually started the show. What episode are we on, Paul?
I think this is 15.
Ooh, there you go, Chaz. Number 15.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But there's really no structure per se. We started off just doing a topic, and it would be Paul and I, and then I don't remember who said it, him or me. We should see if we can get a guest on.
Yeah,
And we had no clue what we were
idea.
doing. And our first one was Scott Waters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good guy.
Yep. Oh, very good. It was a
we
fun
still don't
interview.
have a clue what we're doing, so it's okay.
Blind
we
by the
wing it
seat.
every week.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's just relaxed. If you have anything to come to your mind, that's what the fans want to know is more about you.
Yeah.
And your music and stuff. So
Well, I mean, it hasn't been brought up, but I was actually in the band Jacob's Dream for 10 years. We were on Metal Blade Records when I joined them. So I got to go to Germany and Puerto Rico and Mexico. I got to really branch out at that point because they were quite a bit bigger than Bio was at the time. And the very different style, too. I wasn't allowed to use my screamy, growly stuff in that
really,
band. Yeah, it was very much Queensrychian, that sort of melodic, ultra melodic power metal rock. And I love that stuff. And that's why, I mean, I was a fan of the band. They had another singer before me. But the funny thing is, if you guys aren't familiar with Jacob's Dream, the first singer, he had a very high voice, like almost like Queen of the Reich kind of a voice, and I'm more of a kind of a mid-range to baritone-ish kind of range. So when I first joined the band, I'm like, wow, this is going to be interesting. But I made it work, and most of the fans, I mean, you're always going to have your fans that hate the new guy. That's just the
of
way
course.
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if even if Dale, as great as he is, if Dale would have replaced Michael Sweet, I so wish he would have done that. But that's another point. If he would have replaced,
He did one tour with them,
right? I wish I could have heard that. I've always wanted to hear that.
and nobody
anyway,
has a recording.
Had he actually done an album with them, I would have loved it. But I'm sure there would have been some people. It's just the way it is. No matter how good the new person is, some people don't accept.
Oh yeah,
It's not the same, that kind of thing. So
yep.
There was some of that, but most people, accepted me pretty good. You got another question here with you.
Jeff wants you to belt out some vocals.
Oh, wow.
That's on the spot, man.
It might be a little rusty right about now, my man.
They did that to me with my guitar one episode. I think it was Paul's son.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and then you were like not tuned.
Yep, I did. I needed to change my strings because they were like.
Yeah, I'm definitely untuned right now.
And Joshua said, I guess talking about Dale, if that happened, I might actually enjoy Striper more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Dale would have definitely given it more of a little more gritty feel, I think.
Yep.
I love both singers, so I'm happy either way.
And it's neat when you get a mashup like that, because you were talking about Deliverance. I have a M8's Deliverance. They did a thing in the studio, and they got Les Carlson. And I think Les Carlson sang on some Deliverance, and he sang on some Tourniquet stuff.
Yeah, Tourniquet.
And it's just cool to hear him in a different, genre like that. And it was
now,
really
speaking
neat.
of Les Carlson and Bloodgood, I did that album with Vultures Gathering a couple years ago. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but we did a cover of America.
You sent that to me.
Yeah. Check that out when you get a chance. It's on YouTube. There's a lyrical video and everything. It's pretty cool and definitely used my high stuff in that song. So that made Bryan happy.
What was the name of that band?
Vultures Gathering.
Vultures Gathering? Okay.
Yeah, it's actually like a long distance project where we're never together in person. Ryan, man, he's going to kill me. I'm telling you, my mind is going as older I get. Robic. Yeah, Ryan Robic from Motivic.
Yeah.
Was the lead guitarist, and the Malaysian dude, Andre Chang, he usually does that heavier stuff, but Vultures Gathering was a very melodic, kind of evergrayish kind of vibe. Pretty cool stuff.
All right. Well, I always say I'm going to do it, and I always forget, but I'm going to try to get a link. Remember to put a link in our description, especially when I post this to YouTube. So I'll try to remember to do that in the comment section, in the description.
Yeah,
We're still
Joshua
using
said
the
that
free.
cover was great. I appreciate that, Joshua.
We're still using the free version, right, Paul?
Yeah, we're still using a free version of StreamYard, but I can edit it in another format and put it all up on YouTube with our
That's awesome
logo, with our intro and all
Great.
that. And Joe says he loves hearing the popular voices cross over into other bands and genres. Yeah, that's I love that. It's like called like the mashup. It's really neat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I agree.
So we'll have a Chaz Bond mashup with War.
Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
maybe a whole show.
Yeah,
That'd be sweet.
just
really
let
cool.
each singer be themselves. That's what it's all about.
Oh, big time.
You know.
Well, when we told you just do what you feel that you should do, and we do the same thing.
Correct.
Oh, with Dale,
Correct.
he's got a free leash anyway. Because
Mhm.
I actually sing all the songs prior to him, just to
Yeah.
give him what I'm thinking in my head and what I'm looking for, and then he just takes it up to another atmosphere.
Right. And sometimes you, as a vocalist, and no offense to you, but sometimes as a vocalist, because I've done that as well, where the guitarist is kind of doing a placement vocal or whatever you might want to call it.
Yep.
And I'll hear notes that he's not hearing in his head, and
Dale's got all those in there.
Right, yeah. I'm like, no, I ain't doing that. I'm doing this,
Because Chaz, the first time, I don't know if I told you in a message at any point since we've known each other, the first time that Dale sent us stuff, we thought we were, ignorant. We didn't know all this stuff going on in the recording thing because we were just new. And John looks at me and goes, "Come here." And all the wiggly squiggly lines for the sound that you see on the screen when you're doing the mixing and all?
Yeah.
He goes, "There's 8 vocal tracks. What do I do with that?" I mean, he's got all the melodies, harmonies. Oh my word!
You're lucky you only got 8.
I know. We've got some more with like 11 or more. So
sometimes I'll create a big choir of myself for a chorus.
But that helped us too because on our first album, what's the name of that song again? We Will See Him. The song number 10.
Yeah.
We took my voice, did like 3 of them. John's voice, 3 of them. My wife was alive then, and we did like 2 or 3 of her voices. Then my daughter had like 4 voices, and we made a whole choir. So if you ever get a chance, listen to that and listen to the choir toward the end.
Yeah.
It's called We Will See Him. So Dale inspired us.
I'm trying to get her to come out of her shell and do a little bit of singing, but she's so shy. And if you can't tell, she's kind of hiding back here in the corner.
Well, do you have a good voice?
No.
She thinks she doesn't, but she doesn't have a background in singing, but it's like when she kind of, I don't know, puts something out there goofing off, it's so close to not, to being decent, So I'm like, if you just let me coach you through it a little bit, I think you could hit it.
Seriously, if you can get over your shyness, because here's what I learned in the 4 albums. We needed somebody to sing, but we had nobody. I had to do it. And then as I progressed, a couple of my fans, and I think Joe and Joshua and then Dave Cruz are 3 of the people that said, "Bryan, you need to sing some of your songs." And I'm like, And I start sweating just by the mention of it, and probably how she feels right now. But now I've got songs that I can actually listen to and I don't feel like throwing up,
Well, yeah, I mean, when sometimes Bryan will send me some demos of stuff he's working on and the raw stuff before it gets, fixed up in the studio or the mix. And I'm like, "Are you going to sing that one, man? Because I feel like you need to sing that one." And I don't know. Yeah. So it's definitely studio. Just go in the studio. No one has to hear you but you and Chaz and give it a shot and see how it comes out. And
you can do later. Like what's really cool, you guys. Chaz probably knows this one. John says, "Bryan, do your regular voice." So I'll go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," like that or something. And then he'll go, "Oh, now go like this."
Yeah.
And it sounds
guide you through it, right?
Yeah, that sounds stupid, isolated, but when you put it together, it's like
you're like, "Oh, wow, yeah,
that sounds pretty cool."
It's like putting a sandwich together, like, look good. Oh, it's starting to look good now.
Thank you, Joe. Read what he says there.
Yeah, Joe says he likes your voice, Bryan, and he'd love to hear more of your vocals.
There you go.
Okay, on this news,
there you go.
Let me look it up. Talk about something, and I'm going to find something for you so I can give you.
I was going to say, actually, a few people probably know this, but when I started Bio, it was just me and a drummer. So we did a demo where I played all the guitars and did all the bass tracks. And I'm just an okay guitarist. I'm I'm a rhythm guy. You know, I'm not a lead guy. So like I was just good enough to make, you know, doable songs. And so then I was like, I had to turn and find people that were better than me at that so I could focus on vocals.
Right.
So I've kind of been there too in my own way.
There's three. I think there's 3 songs on the upcoming Full Armor that I do. 4. Because my friend Bryan Rainsberger, he's also friends with Dave Cruz from the Covenant Metal Show. There's a song, Anyone. It's about witnessing, and the disciples said, "Is anybody even hearing our witness?" You know that part. So I wrote a song about that, and then another song is "In Love with You," and "You Keep Me." So I do some vocals, and I do a little bit of vocals on my guitar solo instrumental that I do just in the beginning and the end to set the song. But so I'm starting to reach out there.
I'm not as nervous. Live. Can you do it live while you play guitar?
It depends. If I'm playing it depends on the song. Like when I'm doing acoustic, I can sing better because actually when I sing with the acoustic guitar, it's weird. My mind like connects. But if I'm trying to do like a soloing or something over top, I can't. No way. I don't know how people like Michael Sweet and all them do that.
You know what's funny is when I was younger, I could do it some.
Oh yeah.
Now I can't. You know, I just can't. I don't know. Like I mean, I'll start playing and I'll want to sing this, and I'm like, nah, I don't like this. I'm a front.
Yeah, I do want to say one thing. John and I were flabbergasted. I forget what song it was, but remember, I sang all of them. Then we sent them to Dale, and I did this really high note, and I just thought it was kind of cool. And I got a message back from Dale. Goes, I can't hit that, so I'm just going to do my own thing. And I said, hey, John. Not that I'm all great or anything, but at least one little thing.
That's cool. Right.
We just joke about
Chaz, for viewers that are seeing this or gonna see it, that may not be familiar with your music, what would be the definitive song that go listen to this song? It defines our band. It defines what we're about.
Wow. I wish I could pick one from the new album, but it's not out yet. Oh, gee, I don't know, honey. What do you think? What would be your defining song if someone asked you that? She's getting all shy on me again.
I'm biased.
She said she likes them all. I think she just
I put you on the spot with that one. I know.
That's a good question, man. I think it depends on the. She loves the Rise of the Phoenix album, but that's by far our heaviest album. I think some of the earlier ones are more balanced. Probably I would send them to the Decadence Divine album. I would just say check that album out.
Decadence Divine?
Yeah, because I think that album is really good from start to finish. Really proud of that one.
Yeah, because that, one of the reasons why, I do this and I know Bryan does it is we want to promote the good Christian musicians and good Christian bands and get more fan base for people. Because, like you said, there's so much out there that's bad. You played in that satanic club. I can't imagine the music that you were playing along, subjected to or having to, endure while you were there. But you got your message out. Yeah. And so let's get everybody listening. If you're into that genre of music and you haven't heard of BioGenesis, man, get familiar. Go buy some CDs.
Get a shirt.
Dude.
And shirts.
Yeah, get a shirt like Bryan.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even have one of those.
Really?
She's like, I want one of those.
Well, you're going to be getting married to the guy that owns the thing.
Yeah.
I have your jacket upstairs.
Oh yeah, the old jacket with the bio. Yeah, you guys haven't seen that.
Didn't I get this from Anchor? But it used to be called Christian Bands. Well, get on there and get some. You get $4 off, right? Because you're the band guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say on what you just said about playing in the dark places and stuff. It's like, what I've seen is you never know when God has you go somewhere, and you might even be having doubts. I've seen this too, where we're all driving to this little town somewhere. It's taking forever. We're burning so much gas. We're hungry, and they're they're like, like, does anybody care if we don't show up? Like, is this really worth it? And you could start thinking about stuff like that. But sometimes it's like, you're there, you're going there because God wanted you there for a reason. And you may not even know why you were supposed to be there when you leave, but God knows why. And sometimes it's that person, that girl or that guy, like I said, leaning against the wall in the back of the room, that was their appointment to hear God say something to them through you in some way. Yep. And sometimes you're aware of it and sometimes you're not, but always be open. I'll say that to bands. I'll say that to artists. Always be open to hear God's voice on those types of things, because sometimes God might take you somewhere you didn't think he might take you, you know?
And it may even be for one person. Like
that's right.
The guy in the back.
Right. We used to do a song about abortion very, very out forwardly, and we used to play it all the time. It's called Legal Murder. It's on that same album, The Mark Leads Through, that you were talking about. Mm-hmm. And we had women get up and walk out while we're playing, but then we'd have a couple women come up crying and wanted to talk to us about it. So, you know, if we changed the mind of one mother to save her child, you know, you can have as many angry women walking out the door as you want.
I just got goosebumps because it's not just
that's
one.
What I'm saying. Yeah.
So, that's not just one person. That is the mother, and then that child lives an entire life.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the stories I love hearing about, the impact.
Yep.
You know, and I preach, and sometimes I'll do a message and I'll think that was kind of not what I was hoping for.
You don't always see it on the surface, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and those are the ones that I'll get feedback when, hey, man, this thing you said really meant something to me. And I'm like, that's why I do it. That's
right. And sometimes you probably get those thoughts. I know we all do from time to time. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. Happen to be wearing a Phoenix shirt.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
And Sarah's joined in with us, and she
I don't have any.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Sarah says, same. My vocals have changed a lot. As I get older, my range has disappeared, and I can't belt like I used to. You know, honestly, I kind of discovered my higher voices later in my case. I thought I couldn't do it. And just in the last like 5 years, I kind of rediscovered it, like a new way of doing it, actually. And I'm like, wow, I hit that really well. And then I started getting my confidence back. And that's probably why all of a sudden people start hearing me do these high notes quite often. That's because now I'm more confident doing it. But anyway,
you better do it before who was that one guy? Jeff Jones is going to go crazy if you don't sing something.
Oh, no.
I'm playing, Jeff. I'm just playing.
Can you please sing your favorite song? Oh my, jeez, I don't even know what my favorite song is. I mean, I could do part of the national anthem, maybe. Like, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? You know. There you go. Thanks.
So, you know, we're getting ready to hit reset for a new year coming up, and you know, what another on the spot question? What kind of spiritual goals are you setting for yourself going into the new year? Musical goals? What do you got coming up next that you're excited about?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I mean, I want to be a good husband. You know, want to be a good stepdad. You know, I do have a daughter. She's autistic, nonverbal. She's 16 now. So having, you know, some stepsons that are not nonverbal, it's kind of nice. It's a new thing for me. I think I have an opportunity to be a good influence in their lives. You know, at least that's what I hope to be. Musically, whatever God has left. I know he's not done with bio yet. I know there's more to do. You know, I just want to keep my heart open and keep my mind and soul open for whatever he wants to do with that, wherever he wants to take us. And I'm an open vessel.
Amen. That's what we got to be.
Awesome. So, Bry,
I was going to say there was awkward silence there for a second.
yeah, what are you looking like spiritually for the coming year? The goals, projects. We know what's coming out in February.
Yep. We have an album coming out February. I don't know what date in February, but Rocks Records has confirmed that that's the goal. And I think everybody's going to really like this album because John and I are. And Paul, you've heard some songs. What are you thinking so far from an outside?
I'm really looking forward to it. I actually can't wait to get my hands on it and hear the finished version.
Now, Chaz, did I send you a couple of them or not? Did you get
I
Thunder?
don't think so. I don't think I got the new ones yet.
I didn't send you Thunder of God.
I'm not so. I don't think so, but
I got to send that to you, dude. That song, wow.
Yeah, send it on over.
I shall. But so that I'm looking forward to that. And don't forget that we do on anchormerchandising.com. Anthony Gober does a good job with a lot of the merchandise. And
yep, he does.
Our shirts. Let me grab them real quick.
You're also on Anchor, Chaz?
No, I mean I've worked with Anthony a little bit. I know he talked about doing our shirts. I don't know if anyone has gotten any from him yet or not. That's cool.
It's all back.
Yeah,
this was the first logo that Raphael.
That's awesome.
Did. And I was like, it's not really like our logo or anything, but it looks cool, so I'll keep it. And I wanted it to be like a concert shirt, so I put all the song titles on the back.
That's cool.
And then you see that logo?
Yeah.
I did not come up with that. He just put it on there, and I'm like, I really like that.
That's so cool.
I was wearing that shirt earlier, so it's in the other room. But he disappeared for like 20 minutes, and he came back, and I was like, how much is it going to cost extra? I'll throw it in for free. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yep. And then, those other shirts are gone. But for all the fans that do like We Are Resolute, there's other stuff like the second album. It's got stuff on the back too. So they do a good job. I'm not really just trying to promote my band. I'm promoting Anchor Merchandising because they do a great job. So if you like, is your shirt still on there for BioGenesis, the one I'm wearing?
I would imagine, yeah. I would imagine so.
So if you guys like BioGenesis and you just love Chaz's interview today, go to Anchor Merchandising and get some stuff from him. And where else is your music on now? Did you guys already cover that?
No.
Yeah, I mean Spotify.
YouTube.
I want to buy some CDs. Where would I go?
Yeah,
I would say go straight to Rocks. I mean, Bill has pretty much all of them.
Okay.
We've been on Soundmass before. Of course, Roe. I don't know if Roe has any of that stuff anymore.
What about Girder?
Possibly, yeah.
Because they kind of work together.
Yeah. But yeah, I know Bill has pretty much all of them. I mean, we released our last few albums through him, so.
Okay. Yeah, and that's my PSA, man. If you like good music and you want to continue to get good music, go buy the CDs because that's how that's how much do you make off of a stream? What do you 1,000 streams to make a CD?
Yeah, I mean, it's anybody that thinks this is about money, they don't know what they're.
Nope.
They don't have a clue.
I've spent way more money than we've made.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not about making money, but it's about at least funding the projects that we want to hear.
Yep.
So if you want to hear good music, stop asking for comps, stop trying to get on guest lists, pay for your tickets, buy your CDs, support these guys that are doing stuff that you love. Otherwise, it goes away.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's right.
And how it works with these distribution, that's what we have through Rocks is a distribution contract, so that we're not going out and touring and all that kind of stuff. But if you buy our stuff, we're not getting we get a certain amount of discs that they give us, and we get a discount through Anchor. But if you don't buy the stuff from Rocks, I mean, it helps. It helps us if you buy that stuff, even though we're not getting anything from it, because then they'll re-sign us again and keep our music out there.
That's right. Yeah, you got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very
So we're running up on our hour here. What do you want to say? What's on your heart today? What are you burdened about for the Lord? What's the message that you want to leave the viewers with tonight?
Man, just everybody be strong. I've seen recently, I just went through some difficult times myself a couple years ago. Some of that was somewhat documented on Facebook. If you follow me, I was going through a rough time for a while, lost my house and all kinds of stuff. And now I'm obviously being, very blessed and everything. And I just say that because I know some people have been through some hard stuff. I know Bryan's been through some hard stuff. Just stay focused. Don't let those dark thoughts get a hold of you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to try. Yeah. And it's kind of like I made a post the other day about this. And I said, you're going to lose some battles sometimes. You're going to feel defeated sometimes, and that's okay. But what's important is that you keep picking yourself back up and stay in prayer and stay in, in talking with God, and don't let that darkness in, man. That's very important. We live in some very crazy times, and it's important to keep that focus, keep that faith alive, stay open. Anybody, all of us, not just musicians, but stay open to hear God's voice, because you never know when you're working next to somebody and God's kind of tapping on your heart saying, hey, I want you to say something to this guy or this girl or whatever. And sometimes we can be a little afraid to do that. And that person may not receive that blessing because we were, too chicken to do, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. So just don't be afraid to be a warrior. That's what I got, man. Just stay focused and, just keep it going.
Yeah. And Jeff said, going through a hard time, what Bible verse do you go to?
Oh, geez. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's stuff with Job, obviously some of that. I mean, who went through anything harder than that, right? So
Yep.
Certainly.
I kind of think of that, and this isn't a biblical verse, so it's not exactly answering the question, but in that story of the Jim Jones, one of the guys, the guy that the story is actually about, he just went through horrific. I mean, he lost family members in that whole thing, and he came out living for God and actually speaking against people like Jones, and he actually turned it around and used it for God. And when I look at something like that, I kind of look at my own problems. And I think, what do I have to be complaining about? God can help us with anything, man. So
yeah.
We just have to stay locked in, like I said. And I mean, I know there's so many scriptures. It's hard to pick one, honestly.
Yeah. One for me, it's in 1 John, and don't ask me what chapter and verse because I never can remember.
Come on, Pastor.
Yeah, I know I'm terrible with that. It's when your heart condemns you, God is greater than your heart.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to what you've been talking about, going through dark times.
Yeah.
Going through times where you begin to doubt and you wonder and you start blaming maybe yourself even.
Yeah.
And, God's bigger than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and he has a plan for all of us. We just have to be open to hear that,
Yeah.
We can close ourselves off. God's not going to close us off, but we can close him off.
Certainly.
So we got to be careful about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, man. Well, this has been awesome.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed this time that we had together and getting to know you and discovering your music today and over the last few, week or so. And I'm always finding new bands and thinking, how did I never hear about these guys? So you're on my list of that.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
And so just a really, really good time together. Really enjoyed it.
It was fun talking to you guys.
We do have one more comment from Joe. Chaz, that's a perspective I often use. It helps me recognize how blessed I am, even in hard times. Amen.
That's right. Amen.
Same here. And if you guys want, John chapter 15, 4-11 talks about abiding in him and his words abiding in you. And then you ask what you want and you'll be given to you. Obviously, it's got to be in God's will. He's not a vending machine. So if you're abiding in him and his words are abiding in you, then you're walking with him and you're in his will. Then your prayers are going to be subject to his will. and then you're going to receive what you want. So keep praying for me because I'm still waiting. Like on my arm, I have Psalm 18:3. I called to the Lord who is worthy to be of praise, and I was saved from my enemies. So I'm waiting for that saved from my enemies part.
Yeah.
So
be patient, my man. Be patient.
Yes.
I'm doing way better than I did 4 years ago. So, yep.
Well, you're a testimony, of exactly what we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to stay resilient. You got to be patient. You got to wait on God. Sometimes that's not easy.
Job 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
I'm still not as close to what he did, but it's pretty bad.
In the midst of it, God's using you. So, I mean, there's that.
That's right.
Thank you for saying that because even this album should have never happened. God's timing and everything that happened and then this show. I mean, God has like doubled my ministry, even though all the trials and stuff I'm going through. So I'm sure each one of us here in the group and people watching know some trials too. Because, people are like, well, I'm suffering in this area, but it's not as bad as yours. And I'm like, it's not a competition. You're still feeling your pain, Chaz, right?
Right.
When you go through it, you, Paul.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
I'm like, oh, Brian's the number one here, and then Paul falls number two, and then that's not what it's about. And then we're supposed to encourage each other through it all too, and that's what shows like this can do. So, I mean, I'm encouraged right now. So,
and that's the whole point of what we do is to encourage, to build up, and like we end every show, we're available. We're on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. We're out there on social media.
Same.
And we do this because we love God and we love God's people. And if you're hurting, if you're struggling with something, don't do it alone. Reach out to one of us or someone else you know and trust. And, let's be the body of Christ and uplift each other and support each other.
and if we can't help, we can try to point you to where you can get it. So,
Exactly.
I know this is kind of a metal thing, but there's a Petra song that I love. Just Reach Out.
well, it's a good song.
Where he says it doesn't matter who you are, where you've been.
Yep.
Just reach out and he'll reach in. Mm-hmm. And that's so true. There's no judgment here. Seriously. I mean, I don't care if yesterday you were reading a witchcraft book or whatever, and now you're not sure if God wants to talk. Of course he does. So there's no judgment from us. We're imperfect, and we receive only because by God's grace that he forgives us. So
yes,
we're not going to judge anyone, no matter where you come from. So just want to point that out.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for
There you go.
Thanks for coming on to our show, and thanks for putting up with us.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It was a blast.
It was really a lot of fun.
Might have to do a sequel one of these days.
That'd be great.
We're up for it. Absolutely.
Maybe after the new album comes out, we can talk.
Yes, for sure.
Go.
We'll get you on and get some good promotion.
We'll stay in contact for sure.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen.
All right. God bless you guys.
Thank you. God bless everyone. And thanks.
Hang out just after a second, Chaz.
All right.